Well, it has begun. 2023 carp season is officially started. Kind of. We've had a few warm days, and after a year with record snow, record water, record snowpack, record cold temperatures, there's finally starting to be a few days here and there where the carp are getting warm enough to be active. Spring carp fishing is some of my favorite of the entire year. This year, we're not really there yet. I wouldn't call this is pre-spring fishing that's going on right now. In the spring, the carp can get pretty active. They're hungry. Once the water temperature gets warm enough, or at least they can get into shallow areas where their bodies will warm up enough, the carp can get quite aggressive. And it's a great time of year to go out and chase them. So I did finally go out. It was a bit of a drive. I'll kind of take you on that with me. But I've been out and I have been successful, and I consider the 2023 season started. So thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Well, it all started with a fairly long drive out through some of the most beautiful country in the state of Utah around the Great Salt Lake. A little bit of scenery, a little bit of wildlife or not so wildlife, and eventually, after the roads got worse and worse, I finally managed to make it out and see water for the first time this year. So very excited to get going on this trip. Something you'll notice right away on some of these videos is the carp stationary out in these deeper areas. And what they're doing in those areas is they're holding, just holding in those locations. The earth has a certain temperature, and so it's actually heating the water from underneath. And so they like to go into those deeper areas until the sun warms up enough and they move out into the flats here. So here we go, first fish. He's moved out of the deeper water. You can kind of see he's tilted down a little bit. So this is a tailor. He's moving slowly, picking things up off the bottom. Make a cast out to him here. Little drag and drop. And there he goes, and he eats it. And fish number one is missed. Damn it. But anyway, first fish of the year, I got to eat the fly. And honestly put it a little too close to him, but I'm almost definitely a little rusty here on the drag and drop. Been fishing other kinds of fish, so a little bit rusty here. So on to the second target of the day. Now this guy's more like a cruiser, you know, kind of slowly moving, not much of a tilt to him, but these are usually good targets too. They're usually actively scanning the water a little bit better than the tailors, who are more concentrated right in front of him. So again, a little bit of a drag and drop. Next, the fly moves over in front of him there. He eats it here, and I finally, oh wait a minute, I jumped the gun. So there's the cast again. Drop it in front of him. Drum roll. First fish of the year is on. So yeah, a lot of fun. This fight sequence, I just thought it was cool. You know, a lot of times the water's not this clear, but be able to watch this fish go out, watch him spook some smaller fish, and the way the other carp react to him. Once he gets out into the deeper water, it's not as interesting to watch. But anyway, I thought it made for some cool footage. So what I was using, it was a small black leech with faux pearl eyes. I think it was tied on a size 12, so it was a pretty small fly with just faux pearls for eyes, so it's a very light fly. So there it is, first fish of the year. Not bad, a little skinny, but you'd kind of expect that this time of year. They'll start putting on some weight as the spring moves on a little bit, and they'll get a little bit bigger. But yeah, anyway, I was tickled pink, got to catch a nice mirror first thing of the year. All right, so next target here, I've got another one. Again, not really a tailor. He's not really tilted, but he's moving slowly. I call that kind of the shark movement, the way they move around slowly, not tilted, but are hunting. So here we go again, cast out to this fish and do a little drag and drop. No, actually, this one was not a drag and drop. I put it just in front of him. And this is what usually happens when you do that. He comes up and he gives it a little look and decides, yeah, no, that ain't normal. I'm out of here. So he turns and swims off the other way. So that was me blowing it. Don't cast it right at him. Either lead him a little bit more than that or do a drag and a drop here. Okay, next fish here. Dropped it in on this one as well. He turns and gives it a sniff as well and decides he is also not interested. So again, you got to give him some room. You know, sometimes you can get away with putting it right on him, light flies, but still, you really want to give him some room. Now that there was a pretty good example of how to do it correctly, and it didn't matter. But what you can kind of see in this fish's body language is there's no real tail movement, there's no side to side at all. He's actually already been spooked. I've done something to mess it up. So he's kind of cruising out of an area, and he is on high alert, not interested in eating the fly. But that was a better example of how you place the fly correctly for a fish that's moving if you're not going to do a drag and drop. This is kind of an interesting one where I put it basically right on this fish. Now these guys weren't moving. I really should, if you look up to the left-hand side of the screen, there was another one coming out. That would have been a better target here, but I actually couldn't see from where I was at. So I figured I'm going to give it a whirl and drop it in these guys. Sometimes if you can put it right in front of their face, they will eat it. So there he goes, he eats it, and I set the hook, and I think I was a little late. He'd spit it out by the time I gave it a good set, and I missed him. If you're noticing a theme here, it's that carp in the spring, especially before they warm up, are really spooky. And I think it's a combination of both the water temperature and the light conditions. There's not a lot of glare on the water because there's just not a lot of light. And it makes it real hard. It's real difficult to connect with these fish. They are very spooky this time of year. This one comes over in a pair, and luckily enough, the back one does eat the fly there. I actually watched him eat it there, and we connect for the second time of the year. Good fish there again, another pretty mirror, less scales on this one, but another fantastic fish. I didn't get a lot of footage of the fight on that one, but fish number 2 is on the board. For this encounter, I kind of put the fly a little bit out in front of him, maybe 3 or 4 feet in front of the fish. He had just stopped and started eating there as I was casting. I thought he was going to keep coming. But he comes over here basically right by where the fly is, and I twitched it, and he just didn't respond at all. And then I want to get my line out of the way because I got to get it in front of him. If he gets anywhere near that, my fly line, or he touches my line and I line him, I'm going to spook him. So I get it back before he gets into that area, after he doesn't see the fly. Comes across again there. He just ate a little bit again, and then I cast out. Now, true drag and drop here, pulled it over, dropped it in on him. He moves forward and dives on it and eats it, and boom. Big fish. This was the best fish that I hooked the entire day. My favorite way to get him right there. He drops on that and he eats it, and we're on, and he explodes, and yeah, just good fish and a lot of fun here. You know, to wrap up the successful first outing with a really good fish at the end of the day to close things out, and I was very happy with this. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you like this footage, I've got a montage at the end of this. They're my favorites, so enjoy.